Hello and welcome back to another one of the Ellis Clark Trains how-to videos. And today we're going to be working on the new Pullmans. I'm going to be covering how to take the roof off, how to remove the board for the lighting, how to fit people and transfers, which include the nice forks and spoons and plates for the tables, putting the roof back on. We're then going to have a little pause and we're going to do another smaller video which will cover how to fit the detail parts, what included with them. And then we're going to do how to remove the circlip off the buffers to allow the buffers to be non-retracted. So first of all, what we're going to cover is the coach itself. As you can see, straightforward, out of the box, brand new coach. The next thing we're going to do is just tools that we're going to need. We need a small pair of pliers, a pair of tweezers, a long blade screwdriver. Now by that I don't mean the normal length screwdrivers. We need a long length screwdriver, a scalpel, another small pair of pliers maybe, and some glue to fit the actual people into the coach. And last of all, if you've got a service cradle, it will help you hold in the coach. If you don't have one, no problem, just use a towel or maybe a tea towel, something like that, just to support the coach roof when we've got it upside down in a moment so it's not falling about like so. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to put the coach into the cradle, but before I do, just going to do a little bit of a zoom in if possible on some points here. And there is two holes at each end, 4 on the coach. That's there, there. There are also some screws underneath in the middle, which are there and there, and 2 more holes at this end and this end. They secure the roof on. These are in the book pack that comes with it. One particular coach only has 1 screw in the middle. Some coaches have 3. It does state this in the actual instructions that you get with your coaches. So first of all, what we're going to do is put the actual blade screwdriver down and just feel gently for the screw. It's not the quickest of tasks, I agree, but you will feel it. There we go, and she's starting to come off now. The screws are captive, they've got a circlip on, so they will not come out, and that's the same on the other side. There we go, middle one's straight out. If you want, you can use a posi drive for the middle ones, which is why I've brought a small posi drive with us. Now these screws are about 3 inches long in the middle. And we'll just get a pair of tweezers just to lift them out to show you. As you can see, some coaches only have 1 in the middle, depends on the coach. Just turn it round to do the other side. And then what we need to do is just carefully, if you look on the top of the coach, you can see there's the filler pipes for the toilet area, and there's a central pin in the middle. With a pair of pliers that have got like serrated edges, just gently hold it and wiggle it off. It will come off. Put that in a secure place. Same on the other end. Then using your scalpel, very, very carefully, just go underneath the wire and just pop them out from the roof. It might take a little bit of doing, but they'll come out. There we go. There we are. Just do it with my overhand on this side rather than leaning across for you. Right, okay. They're now all off. We should now start to, there we go, remove the loco roof. Just going to turn it upside down again, just to remove them a little bit more. Now we know we're ready to go. It's just a matter of feel, and you'll feel the screws. There we go, that's that one off, that ends off. And on the other end, it looks like this side has still got a screw in it. So we'll just go in there, feel his way through it. You will feel them go in. I know it sounds a bit hard to describe this, but you'll just feel it sit, and it just feels right, and you just know that it's undoing straight away. Okay, so now we'll turn her over. I'll move the cradle out of the way so you can see, and then we just gently just wiggle her out. There we go, and pull her back that way. Now on this one, don't forget to make sure you put the roof on the correct way around. We've got the vestibule end at this end, so we've got the two vents at this end. That's your roof. So you can see now you've got your captive in there, and your screws, the long ones come through two holes here and here, and you've got the captive screws here at this end. Next one we're going to do with a little posi drive, because we're going to fit people in this one. Just undo, there are 4 screws, black screws, to remove the PCB board. Just gives you a little bit more room for access, that's all. You're not going to damage the wire or anything, there's no worry with that. You just literally, it's just to allow yourselves to just move it out of the way ever so slightly, like so, just to get into it, as you can see. And if you want to have a little look inside the coach now, you can see where we're at with everything. So that's removing of the actual roof and the PCB board. In a moment, we are going to go back on to fitting the roof back on again on the PCB board. Within the detail pack, there's a set of self-adhesive transfers. So they're not water slide, they're just a sticky transfer. And on there, all I'm going to do is just slice them in between the spoon and the fork, so you can see them as a place setting, let's call it. And then if we just get a scalpel underneath it, you can see they come up like so. And that is all we've got there to put on to as place setting. Now make sure we get them the right way around, because otherwise if it's like Downton Abbey, we'll have Carson telling us off. And all we're going to do is put them on the table like so, place them on, and just tap them down, and that is a place setting done, as you can see there. Could do the other side, so we'll do another one for you. Off they come, make sure they're the right way around, place him on, line him up, other side of the table, and in he goes. And when you look through now, you can see there is a place setting in there. On this one, I'm just going to show you now fitting a person. This one is one of the what were Pullman miniatures. I think they're from Northumbria Painting Services now. All you need to do is just a little bit of U-Hoo glue on the back and just pop him in like so, wiggle him under, and he'll go in. If you're having trouble fitting them, another good source is, which is an awful thing to say, is just to cut him at the knees like so, because all we need to see is the actual figure itself. In he goes like so, hold him there, and the figure is now in the coach waiting for his meal, etc. I'm not going to glue this one in just because we have covered fitting figures on other videos. If you look back through our videos, I would actually state that really you're probably better off either, but I think you can buy figures that are just the torso and the top of the legs. Buy those, because they're still a little bit tight to fit in on a model coach. The next thing we're going to go on to then is reverse of what we've just shown, which is fitting the PCB board back in and fitting the roof back on. So first of all is position your PCB board in the correct location, which is there. Small little black screws, in the go, posi drive screws. There he is. Once you get one in, you'll soon know that you're right. There's only 4 of them. Some of the other coaches that I've been into, depending on the model, I think some of the brakes only have 2 screws. So don't worry if you do go into a coach and it's showing 2 screws. It's just the variations on the coaches with the different models do have slight different features, but they are the same PCB board. Hence here you can see there's an extra screw hole there that's not actually used on this one with it being a vestibule. Let's put the last one in. That's that done. That's the PCB board back in, nice and easy. Next job is to fit the cab roof. I keep saying cab roof, not coach roof. Make sure we get it the right way around. We've got a vestibule here. Don't fit it that way because it's going to be wrong, and it would fit. So if in doubt, an easy way is just with a pen. It says A there on this end. You could write with a marker pen on there a little asterisk or something and just do the same under your coach. Then you know you're the right way around. So we pop it back in, making sure we get the pipes not underneath like that, so just pop them round. They are brass, so they're flexible enough to float round and move around a little bit on that. I'll happily move around. Once you've done that, back to your cradle, turn the coach upside down. 2 reasons: that will hold the roof in position. Long screwdriver, back down, and just gently feel for the screw. It is a little bit fiddly, like I've said, but it's once you get it, you'll know it's going in. It's doable. And then over to the other side. Just show you putting the long ones back in. They're quite straightforward. They just slide in, and we will use a posi drive on that one because they are posi drive. That will pull the middle of the coach in. There you go, you might have heard the little crack there as it moved itself in. Onto this end. Let it pull itself in. There we go. It just started to tighten then. I could just feel it on my fingers, just tightening up, and that would be enough. We don't need too much. That's that one. Just needs a little bit more down, and so does that now. Once you've got it to this stage and the roof is practically on, just have a look round it and just move them. There we go. That's tightening up now as I'm saying it. Move yourself round with the screws. And this one as well. And we can just feel it in and watch it come down as you're doing it. Then we're not over tightening. It's probably one of these jobs that you'll do once and never have to do it again. And that one had already done anyway. So that's the coach roof screws back in. The next thing is, if you look where the vents are, you'll see there's 2 tiny little holes. If you just push the wire back in there, you might want to just use the blade to just help them locate. There we go, in we go. There we are, he's in. That one's in. You can see now that they've gone into position. We'll repeat it on this end. He pushed straight in with my finger. If you really wanted, and you've got a very tiny drill bit in a pin chuck, something like a 0.5, you could just run it through just to make sure that the holes are there. But it is only a very tiny drill bit. It's only about a 0.5 wire. In fact, what I might do is just show you doing that, because it would help a little bit in case you're having a little bit of a problem. So just a pin chuck with a small drill bit in. Just run it into the hole, like so. Doesn't need to be too much. In she goes. And then straight in. Last job, on the little circular filler cap covers at the top, this is where you need to be then, if you look at them, a little bit hard to see maybe, but there, when you look at it, there are 2 grooves cut in them at like a V, probably about 30 degrees, and they correspond with the 2 wires coming in like that. And all you basically do is just pop them on, pop them in line. If you want to, you can. There you go, that's that one back on. He's back on there, as you can see. If you wanted to, you could use a little bit of super glue just to glue them back on, but I am talking a minuscule amount of super glue. That's it, it's in. Okay, so next then, what we're going to go on to is the detail part that comes with the coach. So first of all, you'll notice you've got 2 end boards. You've got 2 roof boards, which you can get your own lettering for, etc. And we have also got 4 vacuum pipes. 2 of them are vacuum, which are the larger ones, and the other 2 are steam heat. So if we move on to the coach then, if we turn the coach, first of all, upside down in his cradle, and we'll bring him over. The end boards can only be used when the coach is being run at the end of a train, whether that be up against the tender or whether it be the end of the train. All they physically do is they just clip in like so. If you wanted to use a little bit of blue tack, you could do, or you could physically super glue them on if you knew. I would probably use a little bit of blue tack just to keep them in position a little bit better when they're running around on your layout. And then should you need to change the train formation, you could just pop it off and pop it to the other end. Easy as that. Every Pullman coach comes with 2 end boards, even though you probably only really need 2 end boards for your whole train, but you do get them with them. The next one is, if you look at the end of the buffer beam, you will see there are 2 holes. One here, trying to point with this little drill bit. There's one there, and there's one there. You can just see them there, look. If I put the drill bit from the back, you might just see the drill bit going through the holes, which is there and there. They are for locating the vacuum pipe and steam heat pipe. Now, one hole is set slightly higher than the other. The one that's set slightly higher is for the vacuum pipe. The one that's set slightly higher is for the vacuum pipe. And if you notice there, you can see there's like a circular part. And all you do is you put it from the back of the buffer beam first and just pop her in. In she goes, pop her in forward and then push her back and she'll clip in. Should you want, so you can see it's fairly robust even though it's only clipped in. I can lift the coach up with it. Steam heat pipe is exactly the same. Into the hole first. And there you go, she's on. That's them on, as you can see. They are robust, but they will come off, but they are on a plastic that's sort of a flexible plastic. So I'll show you the steam heat one again. Into the hole and clip it in. If you want to glue them, you can do. Okay? So that's that item fitted. They're obviously at both ends. What I'm now going to show you is I'm going to turn it round and show you how to put the buffers from retract. So if you look at the buffers on a Pullman, because they are fitted with Buckeye couplings, they do not need buffers to work the train. The Buckeye coupling acts as the buffer as well as the coupling, which is the same as on Mark 1s. Thompsons were always the same as well. What we've done with this is we've put the buffers now on retract, so there's no spring in the buffer. If you look at the buffer, you'll see there is a tiny little circlip. It's the same circlip that if anybody of you have used our press flows that holds the coupling on the press flow, and also the same circlip that holds the buckeye in position. So all you basically do is a pair of tweezers, go through the top of the circlip, lift it up and out, as you can see there. Keep it in that position. I'm just going to hold her there a moment. If you then get a scalpel or another pair of tweezers, you'll see there is if you push the spring back, okay, you will see there's a second hole. I'm in it there now. That second hole is the hole that you need to put your circlip in. And all you do is adjust your circlip into position, pop him into the second hole like so, down and out. You have now got a sprung buffer. As you can see, that one there isn't sprung, that one is a sprung buffer. So I'll show you it again on this side. First of all, tweezers in, circlip out like so. Pop that to one side on your tweezer. Move your spring towards the buffer beam, like so. It is a little bit fiddly, I'm not going to deny it, but they're not going to be something you're probably going to change that often. Get it into a position where you can see, circlip in to the second hole, like so, and they're done. There you go. They are now both sprung. If we turn the coach round to show you, the other end is on retract. So it won't move. It's a simple little operation to do that. It's a little bit fiddly, I'm not going to deny it. But basically there's two holes. You remove one circlip, push the spring back, put the circlip back into the hole closest to the buffer beam. And that is fitting of the vacuum and steam heat pipes, and changing the buffers so that they're on sprung, not retract, because they come automatically retracting. And that is basically everything on the Pullman coach. Just one last little thing, just so you're aware. If you don't want your lights on, there's a little tip here for you. There's a little switch there to turn them on and off. Okay, or should you actually get one out of the box and the lights aren't working, just check that the switch hasn't been moved, okay, as into the on-off switch. And that is everything to run through on the detail pack, really. The only last thing maybe to cover is the boards. If you need those fitting, they just won't fit in with either a little bit of super glue or a little bit of Evo stick, and they just fit there. But don't forget, they'll need naming first, because there's different train names depending where you are in the country on that one. And that is everything. So once again, thank you very much for tuning in. Check out the back catalogue of videos, and we'll see you again next time.